Um, okay, let's get started here. So a lot has happened since with the last time we did this weekend call. What do we know about things so far before we get into anything? Okay, what's the latest information we have that is actionable? USD looking to raise interest rates for a certainty almost. They're talking about it, and that's looking to do what, 3 times, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Before the end of the year, Reza.
Yeah.
3 so times. They're looking to raise it 3 times before the end of the year. Pound in December end has already raised it. Okay, so having that said, direction of pound over the next year and a half, which way?
Up.
That means strong pound, no matter what. You go against that flow, you're not going to make it. You got to keep that in mind. Dollar flow coming up, strong. Dollar strength. Okay, you go against that flow, you're not going to make it. Okay, the odds are going to be against you if you do it. Okay, now there's one thing that's important is power. Okay, I think this part I wanted to discuss because I kept seeing this as a situation per se. Now, the reason why I say this is a situation is I think we need to basically talk about this one more time. And you guys will know it, but sometimes we just have to see it in a different light and then things will make sense a little bit. Now, when things go up in a certain way and they pull back like this, do you want to buy the pullback? No, it's like, are you kidding me? No one's going to buy that. That's so high, right? Now, if they pull back like this, would you want to buy it?
Yeah.
Right. So far so good. Everything okay with that? But now let's talk about power. Now, just right now about the pound, we talked about the interest rate has kicked in. Okay. You guys understand the logic of the interest rate, right? Anyone here that doesn't understand it? Shall I cover it really quick of how and why these things have an effect in a very basic style? If you guys want a more complex approach, you'll have to contact Reza. He'll explain it to you. But if a very basic level of understanding, interest rate goes down, bank is here, this beautiful house bank or mushroom. Okay. Interest rate goes down, money goes out of the bank because people like to take loans when the interest rate is low, right? It's easier to do business. It's easier to buy stuff, build your assets. When interest rate goes up, and if depending on what that up means compared to a different country, so if another country has an interest rate of 0 and you're providing 2% interest, is keeping your money in the fixed deposit in your bank worth it, or keeping it in the bank that has that 2% interest rate?
As a 2%.
2% interest rate. So by increasing the interest rate, the money globally tries to flow into your economy. That means it's a good system. Now, unlike a traditional news event, that could be like a slap on the wrist style saying, oh, sorry about that. We didn't mean to discuss that, but blah, blah. When they make these level of decisions, they're not going to come in one day saying, oh, I'm sorry, guys, I didn't really mean to raise the interest rates. I take that back, backseas. You know, there's no such thing in this financial world. If they make a decision, it's set in stone and that's it. They're going to have to go with that at least for a minimum of 6 months to a year. Okay, that stays in motion. So along with
They've
power,
got no refund system.
And no refunds on that, yeah. Because your money is when you go to the bank and you put your money in fixed deposit. Do they say, yeah, you have a fixed deposit of 3 days? Have you ever heard of that? And they don't say fixed deposit 3 days. They say fixed deposit 1 year. 6 months, 2 years, 3 months, and if you break it before then, there's a penalty. Right? That's how banks operate. They freak you out with the terms and conditions of not holding too long, holding it for a short term only. So there's power, that is a big thing, and then there's longevity. if there's a news event, let's say, Urban Forex is one of the big conglomerates in the internet, for example, just as an example. And the internet consists of 100 different things. Okay, from the 100%, Urban Forex represents only 1% of the internet. Okay, so far so good. Yeah. And we sold mouse pads. A new product came out. We sold a bunch of mouse pads. Company did really, 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 really well. That's good news, right? Now, let's talk longevity. How long do you think that news is going to affect the internet as a whole? The statement of that news has less power. It's strong today. From the moment it comes out, it's strong. But will it last 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? And people will still back that, saying, oh man, that mouse pad was so awesome in 1960. We're still going to buy Urban Forex. It doesn't last. So longevity is important. So longevity comes with a lot of things like interest rate, constant unemployment issues, building permits. These things give you certain amounts of longevity of how strong that news is and how long can that impact last. If you don't know how long the impact's going to last, how do you know to go with that direction still? Right? So longevity is very important. Along with the longevity, then you need the power. Okay, so interest rate, does it have longevity?
Yeah.
Right? Now you guys understand interest rates can have longevity. Now, if I flip this around and I say end of December, when was end of December? During this period, pound interest rate went up. So today is January 8th. Is that interest rate gone? Is it dead? Is it no longer valid in today's market?
No.
No, it's still valid. So are we early or are we late?
Still early.
Still early. Okay, having that said, let's talk power. If we're looking at 1 to 2 years of movement coming up, where are we in that scale?
At the bottom.
So now, if you have in your bank $500,000, which is sitting in a 0% interest rate, it's doing nothing, and then you hear, oh, pound's offering some money. So you're going to say, oh, let's take my $500,000 and let me buy pound. Right? Because if I hold pound, at least I'll get something compared to nothing. Right? Because money's got to move. So you buy it and you have an income of $5,000 per month. So what will you do with your savings? Will you buy everything with your savings down here? Down here, and then add 5,000 along the way? Or will you just add 5,000 now and buy 500,000 up here?
The first.
The first one. Because where do you want to be the largest size?
On the bottom.
On the bottom. Does this logic make sense to everybody? If we know it's going and we're early, we want to put the highest size at the bottom. It just makes sense. Let me now do reverse engineering for you. Okay. Mental reverse engineering. Okay. If the movement starts in end of December and he does this, and then you get a pullback that looks like this, but it has the tendency of, looks like the pullback's done, it's ready to go. Can you do that buy? You see, the thought process is different now. It's not about the pullback doesn't look right. It's where is it in the context? It's in the context of early. It's in the context of it's super hot. It's in the context of everybody wants to pile in now. So when you take that into consideration, then whatever Fibonacci number you have, 23, what are the Fibonacci numbers? Do you guys know them by memory?
23.
It's 23.8.
23.8, 34.6, what is it? 32, 36.8?
Wasn't 50 the next one?
No, it's 30 something the next one.
Oh, okay.
38 something, 38%.
Yeah, 38 something, yeah.
38 something, okay? And then we got a 50% and then 61.8, right?
Right.
These are all the pullbacks. These are guaranteed areas prices will respond from. However, we don't know which one. And that's a big pain in the butt for us traders. Like, oh, we don't know which one. And then we come up with rules saying, I don't like this one. I prefer this one or this one, right? These are set rules, but rules need to be broken based on context. So in this situation, when the pound is ready to go and you get a pullback that is looking good, is the situation that's in the market right now saying, take it, take it. So you guys understand the difference between a traditional way of engaging with the market versus trying to be a little bit aware of what's happening in the market? So far, so good? Has Corona disappeared?
No.
What? So Corona's not disappeared, right?
No.
Reza still is waiting for his PCR test. He just told us. So it's still
I
around.
did it.
Huh?
Still, I did it yesterday. I'm waiting for a result.
Yeah. Don't worry. Traders don't get positive. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Okay. So it's not gone, right? It's still around, which means what? Fear to commodities?
Yeah.
Okay. This basic stuff, we understand why fear has an issue with commodities.
Supplies. We have a supply issue also.
Supply issues. When there's fear, people can't even work. If they don't work, who's going to pump the oil? Who's going to make your Gucci leather bags? Who's going to do all that stuff that normally people would go out and go crazy about? All that's going to go down. Okay, so all things get affected. Okay, and we go after the most common necessary things in life. They take the most hit during a fear-based market. So far, so good? Now, what are these things that are taking a hit in today's Corona market? What currency pairs are those?
Aussie, New Zealand,
Aussie, New Zealand.
CAD.
Add.
Okay, these three are the commodity things, if you want to put it that way, because their economies consist of these commodities. Okay. In today's situational awareness, with what we have about knowing US dollar, with what we have with pound, and with what we know about these three currencies, how many currencies are there in total that we trade?
8.
8. How many did we solve right now already?
5.
5. 5 of the currencies are already telling you you have a set answer. Do not go against that. It's literally blindfolded answer saying, just go in the direction we're going. You're going to make a ton of money. Never go against it. All you have to do is look at the remaining 3 and saying, it looks like a sell, I'll do a sell. Looks like a buy, I'll do a buy. But you cannot go against these 5 in control with longevity. So far, so good? Right? So, can I do Aussie dollar buy?
Risky.
Risky. But Naveen, the trend looks so good. Did you see the pullback? It has a pullback right out of the Urban Forex Mousepad textbook. Can't do it. The logic doesn't make sense. Technical analysis fits into the logic. So it's not technical analysis first, logic will follow. That doesn't work. It's logic first, technical analysis assists that logic. So far, so good? That sinking in? So can't do it. If you do it, what can you expect? So that perfect buy kept getting all sorts of irritations along the way, and then it eventually crashed. That irritation of, why isn't it going properly? But it looks like a perfect buy. I know the daily is going down, but I'm on the 1 minute. The 1 minute should at least get a buy. What did we just talk about? The Aussie globally, what's happening? They're having an issue. What about the dollar? Where are we in the spectrum of the dollar if it needs to go up for the next 2-3 years? We're early. Any 1 inch in their favor for a discount, they're going to hit it. They're going to hit it. This is why when you go against the flow, it is a guaranteed death at these early stages. Is it scary enough when I use the word death? It's like, right? Does that make sense? This is just to stay in a grip with the current market situations. Because without this grip, we can't do analysis. We need this grip first to be like, all right, I know what's going to happen now. Pounds, what did we talk about in the 2 weeks ago when we did our weekend analysis? What did we mention about pounds? We said, we haven't seen pounds in like a year. They've been so quiet. Bam, interest rate comes out. Well, welcome back, pound. It's good to see you again. Right? Now you start seeing pounds making higher highs, higher lows, and things will get back into motion. MAs will start bending again in their favor. Technical analysis, people start chasing it. But the engine has started. The money is getting pumped into it. Yeah, so far so good? All right. Now, put all that context together. Now, I guess it will make sense to you why I was so bullish on pound Aussie. Once that mind is set, any pullback is automatically classified as discount, get in, I don't care. Discount, get in, I don't care. Discount, get in, I don't care. Buy, 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 buy. Because they've given you the answer. If they've given you the answer and you know you're early, why aren't we loading up? Right? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So just this small thing I wanted to make you guys sort of understand. Some of you guys already know this. Just wanted to touch base on, in case you didn't know it. Well, now you do. Okay. So to the charts. Yeah. So before we do that, anything has changed on the sentiments? So Corona still around. The Omicron stuff. Any talks about it getting calmer, or is the talk still about it's getting worse, or is it neutral?
Canada's still full on lockdown, so
They just went to
it's getting worse.
lockdown?
Yeah, we're locking down again, so restrictions going up and cases going up. So yeah.
Okay. So then it's bad then. So Netherlands already closed.
And
Dubai
Europe
is
is also
sorry.
Europe is also getting worse. So
Okay.
Germany is preparing for the next wave. So
Yeah, I think it seems to be getting worse because now they're like including more of the entire population, including kids, that and all, which was not the case with the prior variant.
Oh, okay. For the vaccinations, you mean they're saying?
Well, no, actually, for the disease itself, saying that they get targeted and it's worse for them. So like
Okay.
thoughts are changing regarding that.
Okay, so if it's targeting kids too, then the fear factor is going to be very high. When it comes to children, fear factor goes 10x high. That's like a common thing we need to understand. If a person on the street gets killed, it hits the news, it's a bad thing, but if there's a child involved, that news becomes 10 times more significant. It's just who we are as human beings. An adult life is okay, but a child's life is more important, So we need to understand this logic of how we operate. So if there's children involved, it's going to be a lot more sensitive than it is now. Okay, something interesting to keep in mind. Okay, so and then interest rates, we know in the USD, the interest rates have not been done yet, but we know it's coming. So early stages, which means once they announce it, some volatility and then further incline for the dollars. So that's coming. Anything else that's hot that we need to stay on top of? We already have 5.
Yeah. Maybe energy crisis also.
Energy crisis. There's a lot of EV stuff going on right now for electric vehicles and stuff. They're always on the news these days.
I was reading an article saying that could be cold weather is good for us, especially for West, because they need gas and oil.
Okay.
So maybe they are preparing people for energy crisis too.
Okay. And just all going towards just buy Bitcoin and be done with it.
Maybe 2022 is the all in.
Yeah. Well, I've gone heavy on Bitcoin, so that's my stance on it so far. Okay, moving forward. So we got 5 of the major currencies solved as of right now. 3 of those currencies, which is the Aussie, the New Zealand, the CAD, is still in a sensitive area because the longevity is not certain, right? The coronavirus can flip quite easily, which means if the vaccines and stuff get stronger or the boosters are doing their job, that effect can go down and very quickly the economy can recover. So the longevity of Aussie, New Zealand, and CAD being strong is questionable, but the longevity of the interest rates, they're here to stay. Okay, so just keep that in mind on what can you really believe in and going forward for. Do I need to hold it for another day? Yeah, no problem if it has one of those pairs. Do I need to be more sensitive on exiting? If the news headlines change, then the Aussie, New Zealand CADs can flip on you. So you got to be careful. So far, so good? Okay, so now using that knowledge, we can go to our charts and we will start to see a lot of our activity should be revolving around what we just talked about. When we did our one 2 weeks ago, there we go. When we did our analysis 2 weeks ago, the whole focus was it's only Aussies. Like nothing else is there. It's just Aussie. Everything Aussie weakness. All right. I'm on Forex. So let's go to, because there's so many of you guys now. It's your faces take up all my screen size. Okay, hold on. Let me make you guys smaller a bit. Okay. Yeah, put you guys on 2 panels. All right, cool. Let's start with Aussie CAD. Okay, Aussie CAD. Before we get into analyzing this thing from a higher time frame perspective, we'll start with 4 hour and 60, or actually daily and 4 hours, probably better. Okay. What's the flow on this? Down. Okay. Logic. Is it going with the logic?
Yes.
Is it?
Well, they're both commodity.
They're both
Also
commodity pairs. So.
Good. So as beautiful as this downtrend is, are they going to make life easy if you get onto a pullback sell?
No.
Pick a better pair. Don't force it. Pick a better pair. Okay? Don't be stubborn. Let it go. It's okay. There's another pair out there. Find one. We'll move straight into Aussie Swiss. We're just going to let this one go. We've marked it as red even last time. Yeah? Aussie Swiss. Here we go. What do we know about Aussie Swiss? Flow?
Down.
Okay. I'm going to draw something with my marker. Let me know if you guys can see it. Oops. You guys able to see that line?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Cool. All right. Okay. So in this one, we see down. A couple of things before we go into the down logic. There's this thing that definitely on this time frame is a lower low, but the speed it went down and up is like, could that have been a probe? Ooh, should go back to English class. Maybe, right? It's like, I don't know what that is. Okay, we'll investigate that in a little bit. MAs, are they all down?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're all down. There's something to the side of my eye that's catching me off guard, which is, what is this? And that's making me want to investigate. Could this be a pullback for an uptrend that might want to go up? I'm now forced to look at it. Even though my job is, yeah, but I see red candle, so let me just pull back, sell, pull back, sell, pull back, sell. No, I can't. I need to know where the story is coming from. I need to know, am I going to be stuck in something? So before we do that, let's do this. Let's go up to the weekly really quick and be like, what are we looking at? Now there's more to the weekly. So is the weekly in an uptrend? Where it was catching my side of my eye, that little piece? But it's not in an uptrend because now I see more. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? So trend?
Down.
Downward.
Yeah.
Perfect. In the downtrend, hits the bottom, goes up, pauses, goes up again. That's a refresh?
Yes.
If that's a refresh, anything above it is bad?
Mhm.
Okay, so is it a weekly?
No.
No.
So whatever that pullback is, it's out. It's out because that's the lowest point. Can I come here and say, yeah, but that's a new low, right? Should I focus on this pullback? What's the right answer?
No.
You can't.
No.
We can't do that. We can't just come in the middle and just say, I will look from a corner of one eye and choose to read only this portion. You can't. More information is better, not less. Okay? All right, so moving forward, let's take it up to monthly, just to really quickly see this and saying, aha, flow, down,
Down.
bottom, okay, new low from a downtrend, goes up, pauses, goes up. Any violation? No. Primary, drop. What's the job of primary?
Getting
Bring in
the
the
buyer.
buyer.
Get the buyer to come in because they haven't tried yet. Let them try. The buyer's trying. Can he do anything?
No.
Secondary?
Is in play.
Secondary is in play. Now, this whole story says this thing is supposed to drop. Now, this drop looks pretty large, right? That's a pretty big drop. It's almost like jumping off the Grand Canyon. It's huge. So from here to here, are we going to make it with, let's say, Monday New York Open or London Open?
No.
Oh,
You need something drastic to
something
happen.
big. Something
Something
big.
drastic. Now, that drasticness could come from Swiss, but at least Aussie is saying I'm heading that way anyways because of the current market situation, right? With the COVID stuff, right? So they're all like, we're heading that way, unfortunately. Okay, now there's one thing you only need to be aware of is yes, the cells are on, but just be careful of this. It was a very strong rejection at that time. So just be careful of that to see if it will impede along the way and it starts getting messy towards here. Because when this happened last time, what is early 2020?
When it all started.
When it all started. So when it all
Yeah.
started, the recovery was beautiful.
Yeah.
So do you think people will remember that recovery when prices come down there again?
Yeah.
That hope will come back. They'll start saying, well, I missed it last time. This time I'm not going to miss that nice golden rise in the stock market or the Amazons or the Netflix. They're going to try and do it again. So don't take your targets too far down for a new low because that memory is going to kick in again. Okay? Any little good news, they're going to think it's going to be good for the economy. So far, so good? Okay. Now that we know this is supposed to go down, what is the context from the monthly? How do I do an anticipation trade of that
On the weekly.
from the weekly? So I'll make this the weekly. One time frame down just to keep life easy. What am I looking for on the weekly? Once the buyer gets his chance, what am I looking for?
The refresh.
Refresh.
Okay. A refresh of who?
The buyer.
Weekly
The buyer. So as the buyer is going up, I'm looking for at what point do they refresh? Is it on this red candle? No.
No.
It drops, pause, drops, and it's like, they're here. They're here.
Yeah.
Get me a test back, I'm in. Get me a test back, I'm in. Now, the simplistic way is get the price up in these areas from the weekly, enter, stop loss here. Okay, that's as simple as that trade on. Okay, now if you prefer to make this a little bit more fine-tuned, then you can go down one more time frame to make sure your stop loss is here somewhere. Okay, has the party started?
No.
Not yet. That test is still being processed right now. But once that test starts giving you a red candle that comes out this big, would we say the party has started?
Mm-hmm.
Then we say the party has started. Look at this on the monthly, because who's the owner of this trade? Monthly or weekly?
Monthly.
Monthly.
So if monthly is the owner of the trade, because monthly has the P and the S, if monthly is the owner of it, that buyer who's trying, does he look dead?
Yeah.
He's not dead yet. So once that red bar starts coming in, we still have the whole process of, oh, it just became on. And the buyers just got trapped, just now got trapped, only when that drop happens. So the party hasn't really officially started yet. Even if we anticipate it hasn't started yet. But once this from the weekly starts to go down, then the party has begun. Now, if the party has begun, what does that mean? What can we now do?
Wait,
Yeah.
sometimes?
Lower time frames. 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minutes, 60 minutes, 4 hours. Time to rock and roll. Make as much money as you want. Doors are open. Doors are open. Anything before that, you're walking into an ambush. Even though it looks like a sell, you're walking into an ambush. This is very important to understand. Why is this important to understand? Because this portion is only 10% of market activity. 90% of it is this mumbo jumbo preparing. So how easy is it to get caught into all this nonsense? 90% of the time. This is why it's very important to be patient, pick the right pairs, know when it's on, and then pull up, your cash and saying, I'm ready to play. Let's go. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you guys one thing here. You see this motion here where the buyers were trying? It's a weekly chart, right?
Right.
When this thing goes up, pauses and goes up, do you think on a 60-minute it will look like the best uptrend?
Yes.
It'll be beautiful, right? It'll be beautiful. Let me sort of bring that into light real quick. Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. Is it this one? Yeah. Because it's a monthly. Hold on. Let me. It's like, okay, there it is. Okay, there you go. Now, this is what trips us up. Oh, come on. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is what trips us up. Is that trend good or not on the 60?
Looks good.
It looks good, right? There's one dilemma that we all face. I am here. Why am I not doing anything? I'm a hard worker. Why am I not doing anything? This is the biggest problem that's going to cause you issues. Now, if you say, but I know it's a sell, but I'm early on the buys, right? That's not a bad thing. If you're early and you're aware of the distance and this and that, is there a problem on this though?
Yes.
Well, what if you're early? What's the issue with that? Yeah, give it a go. Yes. Even if you're early and you're like, I'm in here for the buy as per the monthly. I'm aware of the whole situation. I'm in early. Like, I know it's got a little bit movement. I should make money today and maybe tomorrow. What's wrong with that thought process?
There's a lot of money piling in against you at all price levels. I think from the monthly perspective, if they're looking at the bigger picture, they're just hitting cells.
Okay, good. Guys, let's make this into a fun game. Whenever you guys hear something that you guys agree with, just turn on your mic and say, aha. Okay? So would you say you agree with Yash?
Aha.
Okay, good. Now,
Thanks, Tony.
I'll give you an aha.
yeah, so that is correct. And the reason being is look at this. Look at every single pullback. What's the resolution of each pullback? Does it go up?
Yeah.
So visually, we know it works. Look very carefully. Every single pullback, if you look very carefully, not one goes smoothly. Everything comes with spikes going down against you, going down against you, going down against you. How will you make any money? It goes up, but it doesn't do it with what's that word? With grace. It doesn't do it with grace. Okay, it's very violent. And that little bit of extra movement can damage our account. Right? And that's the moment when we feel bad, because we know everything of what it's going to do, when it's going to go. We know all that. It's all here. But sometimes we just need to cope with that information and saying, I got to fight my boredom though. And that's when you have all these faces that you can be like, guys, let's play tic-tac-toe today or something, because I can't do this. I can't buy it. So let's at least do something more fun, you know? So that's the thing you have to stay on top of and be good at.
Maybe trade cryptos.
Maybe trade cryptos. There you go. There you go. And cryptos have a bigger swing and a bigger craziness on those. So that's why we're opening up stocks a little bit. But now with all the new things coming up, it's like, well, Forex is getting busy again. Okay. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay. Now the downtrends are back in life on the 60-minute. Shall I do them?
Not yet.
Not yet. Because based on how we know this is operating, it's preparing. It's preparing. We're almost there. Give it some time. Yeah. So we understand the balance of power on when we want to respond, when we have to be careful. And even though we're right doesn't mean money, unfortunately, because this concept of it should go up, that is right. But you can't make money from it. Okay.
So, Naveen, during the anticipation phase, we are very early. So, would we place there most of our money because it's still on risk?
No,
or only after it's on.
You can place your money there as long as you're not putting a tight stop loss. If you're putting a tight stop loss, it better be at the early stages of anticipation as high as you can. If you do an anticipation down here and you put a stop loss here, that's going to become a little problem. You may not survive any little tests or anything. That becomes a problem.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is the key pieces. Now, so this trade is good. Shall we keep it green? It's hot. Okay. Yeah. If you guys have your pens and papers, maybe write it down that the owner of Aussie Swiss is monthly. That's the owner of this trade. So we know whenever we're on a lower time frame, we know who to refer back to and get the permission from and work our way down from the owner's time frame. Yeah. All right. Is this a pair we can do in terms of the logic we spoke of earlier?
Yes.
Aussie and Swiss franc. Yeah, we can. Any issues with Swiss franc, Reza? Anything that
Only
can
if-
cause an issue?
Only if the market is risk on, that's going to be.
That's the only issue, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to be a little bit close with the Corona level news because they're both very tied together with the Corona. This currency pairs. It's the Aussie and the Swiss. They're both attached to Corona.
Safe haven, so it'd be a good one.
Sorry.
It's a safe haven, so it'd be a good one.
It's a good one, but when does a safe haven disappear?
When everyone is happy.
When everyone's happy. If everyone's happy, what happens to the Aussie? Is it still going to go down?
No, it's
So that disappears too. So one shift in the sentiment from Corona to no Corona or less Corona, the whole thing will change direction.
That's a problem, yeah.
That's a problem. So you don't have any backup. Now, if you do, for example, Aussie dollar, and then you're selling that, is that good in the current market situation?
Yes.
You have USD saying I'm strong, and you have Aussie saying Corona. If the Corona sentiment slows down or disappears, are you still hedged?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're still hedged. So now you know how to use better pair connections and saying, if I'm going to do this for the long run, then I need to find a better strengthening of a pair. Okay. So can I ask you guys then a quick test question? Is the money made on the chart or in the preparation?
Preparation.
Preparation.
Always
Preparation.
preparation.
Yeah, money is made there. Getting ready for why it should do anything is the answer. Okay. All right. So Aussie Swiss, done. Aussie yen. Let's go back to the daily. And 4 hours. Okay, Aussie yen. Do we have any technical indications?
It's a bit messy.
Okay, what does that mean?
Range.
Range.
139.
That's a range. If I go to the 60 and I say, yeah, but I see an uptrend, should I do a pullback buy?
No.
No, because that's not logical. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if we're in a range and I focus on doing the buy, why will that buy not work?
Both parties are strong, so both are hitting it.
Good. Aha. Okay. Now, if both parties are strong, but you're seeing a valid uptrend in here, does it mean the uptrend will not go back up? No, that's not what that means. It means you cannot grab that successfully. That's what it means.
There's no
So-
edge.
Yeah, there's no clean edge. So let me tell you guys this. So from when you start to identify there are areas where I cannot operate, even though I know it's going in that direction, what can you do if you want to participate in it?
Demo trade.
Operate from
Trade is
the
an
edge.
answer. Tony, what were you saying?
Operate from the edge, so from the top or from the bottom. If there was an
Okay.
incident.
Not quite the answer I'm looking for. What else is there?
Sister pair.
Okay, still not quite the answer.
I failed the test.
Okay, wait.
Correlation.
No, good. Okay, so we said in this range, buyers, sellers are both strong. But we know in a range, prices can do this, right? They can go up, they can go down. It doesn't mean it won't go up, it won't go down. It'll do all that, right? So what was wrong with me buying this again?
Middle of the range.
That's one thing, but what else?
It's in the middle.
That's another thing, but what else? Like,
There's no edge there.
There's no edge.
what does that mean?
Well,
Yes?
we're buying like the commodity pair, the UD.
Okay. That's the fundamental thing. But what makes this dangerous to do? Let me change it to selling. Okay, let's change it to selling.
There's no good RR ratio also
Okay, why?
because I have to put my stop at the bottom which doesn't make it sense. Have to be my stop.
You guys are
here.
you guys are close. If I tell you guys the answer, you guys are gonna be like, oh yeah, that's what I meant. Okay, so let me explain this to you. If you have a range and the range is really big, like it's like monthly, let's say, but you're like, I don't trade the monthly. I'm on the 60, man. Who the hell cares about the monthly? I don't care. And you're here and you're like, I can do the sell. But you know the sell's not going to be good because you're inside a range. So what do you have to do when you do that sell to adapt?
Larger stops.
Larger stops. That is the only way you have to adjust your edge to it. Because why a larger stop? Who's in control of the range, buyers or sellers?
Nobody.
They're both strong. So whatever you do, you don't have a fixed direction in the market. You might have a temporary fixed direction, but to someone, when you do that selling, to someone else is like in that range, they will see that as, that's my discount, buy it. And you're like, I got spiked, but it worked. It's not, I made a loss. It's, did you understand what happened? Can you make a plan for the future on how to avoid that happening? Versus when you're on Aussie Swiss and you have a beautiful trend and you're like, 2 pip stop loss, let's go. No problem. Versus a range when you're like, well, okay. I put a 10 pip stop loss to make 8 pips. Fine. But you know what you're doing now. You understand why. You see the differences?
Will the wider stop loss be based on the time frame that you're trading or just on top of the overall range?
You just have to be aware of it's going to be spiky. So you're going to, instead of putting your stop loss just below where it turned from, maybe you want to put it below the V and maybe even give it a little bit more space.
Okay.
Okay, so now your approach is slightly different. You have a beautiful turn like this, right? You see that? Yes. That's a beautiful turn to the upside. And you're like, okay, all right, it's on. I'm running after it. I'm chasing it. What is this massive spike down? I might not survive that. What is this extra spike down, but then it goes up anyways? Even if I was comfortable, I say, I'll put my stop loss here. I'm still dead. In this type of conditions, if the trade goes in my favor, 10 minutes later, can I move my stop loss to break even?
No.
So also your stop loss cannot be sensitive. You see? So different markets require different tools, right? Different conditions require different approaches. Knowledge is the same, but different approach.
Also, for these type of things, we wanted to take new highs, just recent highs.
Just recent highs, recent SNRs.
Okay.
You know, everything can be a possible issue because the opposite party will look at every little thing saying, that's my price, that's my price. Because there's two parties simultaneously looking at it and they're both right. That's what a range is. They're both right. Starting to make sense a bit? We're going a little bit more advanced than I'm usually trained to teach you guys. I'm opening up another edge door, but I'm wondering if I'm doing you guys more harm or good. I have to think about that tonight. But
does it have to? Sorry.
Yeah.
Does it have to do with there's a constant pressure by one side, so this is preventing us from being spiked?
Yeah, if you're in a trend, then there's a constant pressure on one side. So, for example, we just talked about that Aussie Swiss, right? If I go to Aussie Swiss, what does the world want to do with this? Sell it or buy it?
Sell it.
Sell it.
Sell.
Once it goes down more, do they want to sell it more or buy it?
Sell it more.
So when it actually comes up, is it coming up because someone is buying it, or is it coming up simply because the seller's taking profit?
Seller is taking profit.
Good. That logic, try to apply it in this context. When it comes down to here, people are selling it. But when it goes up, is it the seller taking profit, or is it a buyer buying it?
Could be a buyer.
Could be both. It could be any.
Yes.
That's a risk now. We don't have a one-sided sell it, close the laptop, close the computer, go on vacation. It's okay. You're good to go. You don't have that flexibility in non-trending market, because I've only trained you guys to look at trend pullbacks. No trend, no trade. I've only trained that edge to you guys. Okay, so that word that comes before the pullback is trend. That trend needs to be cool.
Yes. Aha.
Aha. Anyone walking by Sanjit or Ali, they're gonna be like, what kind of call are they on?
In the kissing booth. Makes sense because they're in the kissing booth.
They're in the kissing booth, yeah. they're gonna hear weird noises in your room.
Not quite like that.
Okay. All right, moving forward. So Aussie yen, right? Daily and 4 hours. So what do we say about Aussie yen then finally?
Right?
Range.
Yeah.
Range.
We know it's a selling pair fundamentally because of Omicron, right? But is it in any situation or condition to sell from where it is? So we got the fundamental, but this time we don't have the technical. Next. So we have it marked here. We'll observe it, but we need it to get lower. Okay, so I will change. Whoa, no dictation. Okay, I'll change this to orange. It's on standby. Okay, Aussie New Zealand, we skip. Aussie dollar. What do we know about this one?
Fundamentally good.
Fundamentally good. Okay, what is this thing here? Catching my eye. Looks like it's not a downtrend. It just recently became a downtrend. So then the question comes in is it a downtrend or is it a pullback?
Higher time frame.
Yeah, so we're going to check with the higher time frame. But as per this time frame, that's a new low. But if this is a pullback for somebody, then that's no new low. This thing's going to launch and we're going to get caught. So we just need to check that real quick. So we go up to the weekly and we're like, all right, let's investigate this downtrend that used to be an uptrend. Whoa, what is this? So that uptrend is in a downtrend. Oh. Okay. We're now entering the matrix. Now we go up one more time frame to figure this out. Okay. All right, monthly. Let's hope your final hope to give us a direction. Now we got this big mess that's going on. Okay. On the monthly scale. New low. Any violation?
No.
Primary?
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly. Secondary?
No.
No.
Secondary?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, cool. Good. How do we enter that secondary?
Refresh on the weekly.
Weekly. Let's do that. Okay. When can we enter?
On the
After
pullback. On the base pullback.
We need a refresh.
Well, refresh, I meant.
Need a refresh of the buyers.
Yeah.
So
I'm in very deep.
is this the
Yeah, that's
refresh?
about 50.
I think that would be a refresh.
That should do it, right? So notice how there's no rule behind this, but we all feel it like that's gotta be sellers coming in. I mean, what is 2 times the size of the buyer? That's gotta be a seller. Because we don't have the 50 and stuff that we normally look at in a trend state, right? where we say if it's gone to 50 without a range, then okay, we count it. But we can literally see it with our eyes. Here's the thing. When you're dealing with the primary and secondary, and you go down a lower time frame, you'll never have that MAs. Is it above 50? Is it above 20? You can't use it because it'll all be sideways, getting ready to roll over. So you'll have to go with either in the up, you need a range drop. What's the other way?
Drop, cold, drop,
2 legs.
shot.
Okay, the other one is 2 legs
Roll,
down.
drop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now the 2 legs, can I do it like this? Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Not that one for sure.
No. No.
No, because that's more like a range.
But
Okay.
it's still okay, I would say.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
if
don't
we
think
have
it
a range,
invited sellers.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Okay, so we found a spot that there's questions about. Let's solve it. So let's do it like this. Ah, this mouse is killing me. I'm gonna buy myself a birthday mouse. Like, okay, here we go. Ready? Is that good? That's good.
Yes.
There's no undo on this. There's undo. Okay, cool. Is that good?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that good?
Really, yeah.
Is that good?
No. Not
No, because
so.
they traded, the buyer's trade is working, kind of,
Good.
at least a little bit.
Good. The whole logic of a refresh is a seller thinks that's the top. Whenever a buyer keeps coming in hot, they won't think it's a top. So a lower high is a must. Okay, so they can believe in the top. Sometimes it goes from here and I'll be waiting around, be like, I don't know actually if that's the top yet. I don't think they're convinced. Sometimes they do get convinced, and then I look down, I'm like, of course. It was staring me at the eyes and I didn't even see there was a high volume there. Like I just skipped it. So it happens sometimes. The volume will show up and the volume will tell you that's good enough.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but is it a range?
No.
not really.
No,
No.
it never can be a range, because what's the purpose of a range in the context we're looking for? Why is a range good for us? Let's answer that. Why do we like to see a range?
It's like
Slowing
a
down.
build-up of orders.
That's one, but what
Slow
happens
down.
when they see a range? When people are looking to see, is that the top? What happens in their body when they see a range? Well, not the
speed
chemical
is being
composition.
absorbed.
Sorry?
The speed is being absorbed.
The speed is being absorbed. Perfect. Does this look like a speed is being absorbed?
No.
No.
No. So even though it looks like a range visually, the speed has not been absorbed. Therefore, we cannot classify this as the sellers think that's the top. They're going to go for it. They can't trust it. So if they can't trust it, then we don't know if they're here. Because in Forex, we don't have the volume that's accurate enough to tell us they stepped in. So we have to do our best to go with our gut feeling around these areas and be like, that's got to be them. And you have to do that as well as possible. So far, so good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, moving forward. Did you want to take a screenshot, Tony? Or someone took a screenshot? You want me to put the drawing back?
No, I will the recording. I will check on the recording again
Okay.
and then take notes.
All right, cool. Yeah, you guys all have a screenshot button on Zoom, which is much better.
Oh,
You guys didn't know that? There's a button for a
Where
screenshot.
is that?
Huh?
Where?
If I'm not
I
mistaken,
don't see
there is a screenshot button on Zoom.
I don't see one.
Like,
There's a save button on the annotations bar.
yeah,
This
that's the
one?
one.
Huh.
If you do save, then it's like as if we're recording it. When you go back and when the call is over, all your screenshots will show up. So you can make them as many as you want. They make them nice, small file size and organized. So, anyways, we can play with that some other time. I'll have to figure it out how it was, because I accidentally click on it many times sometimes.
That one, so
I see under edit.
Yeah, when you get to annotations. Okay.
Oh yeah, the save button on annotation. That's the one. That's the one.
yeah.
And you can save it as a PDF or
No, yeah.
yeah, that's the one. Okay,
Cool.
cool. All right, moving forward. All right, we're finally coming out of the Aussies. All right, I'm gonna go faster now because I think I had to say everything I had to say to get you guys up to speed. We'll try to keep this rhythm every time we do weekend analysis to make sure you guys don't forget what you're doing, and not just focus on technical. Like, stay on top of it. All right, Cat Yen, direction.
Just one question to Aussie USD.
Yeah.
And so now we have NFP, which is bad, but we know there's an announcement for interest rates. So this is why I think they announced it prior, because I know that NFP will be bad, maybe.
Yeah, so if the NFP is bad, direction for this should be which way?
Temporary USD weak.
Okay.
USD weakness temporary, right?
Yeah.
Dollar long run.
Strong.
So I'm just drawing the powers, and then Aussie temporary or long run.
Weak.
So when we map that out, this can cause a pause before it can resume.
Mhm.
Okay, if you take an average of the whole thing, it'll try to go down eventually, but you might see these things happen a bit.
So it will take longer because of all this.
Yes, it needs to digest through that NFP.
Okay.
NFP was bad, but unemployment was very good.
Okay, so that's mixed sentiments then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And since the economy is a slowdown, so mainly they don't expect NFP. So employment is more important than NFP in this situation.
Okay.
I mean, unemployment.
Do we know when they're gonna raise the first interest rate date?
They said before at the end of 21, they said after March, but what happened last Wednesday, they said we might do it earlier.
Okay. So
that's why it was shocking, and the move was shocking.
okay, so that's a good thing. So now what that means is anytime, normally what do we say about fundamentals when we look at the calendar? Look at this, look at that, all the speeches and stuff, leave it, right? Now the attitude has to change a little bit because the situation has changed. Anytime you see something Fed, you watch it like a hawk. It's like you need to be on top of it and be like, did he say anything different? Is he still going with that same notion of they're going to increase it? And you stay on top of it. Globally, it's being busy more than ever before. Tesla is dumping their stocks. Facebook is dumping its stocks. Amazon is dumping their stocks. These are CEOs dumping their own stocks. We might be hitting a top in the market that is looking to start doing some pullbacks. And these aren't people getting rid of their positions by 1%. They're getting rid of big chunks of it. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, Berkshire Hathaway is short against a lot of these things. And you should see their stocks. Let me just go there real quick. You guys are aware of Berkshire Hathaway?
Yeah.
Okay. Warren Buffett?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's your daily chart on Warren Buffett.
Oh,
452,000 has jumped up to 480,000 per stock. His stock price is more expensive than people's houses. It's like one stock is that expensive. Crazy, right? And there's your NFP news right there. It's nuts. Okay, back to Aussie dollar. So yeah, Aussie dollar, everything good then?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
If you buy Berkshire Hathaway as a stock, does it mean you're hedged, you're diverse?
I would treat it like an index. It's like this. So think of Berkshire Hathaway, because it's not. They don't make anything, right? As a company,
Basically, you are investing in their portfolio.
you're investing in their portfolio. So if you, Reza, you're very good at housing, and you have a house in Dubai, you have a house in London, you have a house in the Gold Coast in Australia, and you're very good at turning a profit. If I invest in you, I automatically am investing in all those projects all at once. So but if I do that with Apple, I'm not investing in everything Apple does. I'm just investing in Apple because I'm just investing in their progress. Generally speaking, unless they claim all the other stuff that they're doing. So make sense? So Berkshire doesn't do anything on their own. They don't make anything. The guy just prints money. Like he's really good at it too. Okay, moving forward. CAD yen. Okay, flow and direction of CAD yen. Fundamentally speaking.
There is one problem with CAD yen. Oil is going up.
Okay.
So that's why the CAD is still showing a strength.
Okay. So why is oil going up in these uncertain times?
Because there is the demand is higher than supply.
Okay.
There is a shortage of oil, and this week OPEC said they're going to deliver again. So.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if there's any footprints of larger players somewhere on this. Oh, it's a big mess even on the weekly, monthly, sorry. And yeah, it's tough this one. Because he also has a higher high, but not by much. And the pullback is very, very deep as well. So whatever this uptrend is slowing down, but hasn't slowed down yet. Because I think Aussie CAD was dropping aggressively also. Because CAD is strong. Yeah.
Does the weekly own this pair?
Yeah, this is the pair that Ollie was having nightmares about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna watch this recording and he's probably gonna shake his head like, I hate this pair. It's like
So even though the monthly is a mess, we can still say it's fine to trade based on the weekly, even though it's below the monthly.
Yeah, so the thing is, notice how each movement, how far does he go? Compared to everything else that we've seen on the weekly, we've just seen candle, kind of flying in one direction. This one has done one candle in one direction. And earlier, a few candles in the other direction. Why is that? Because you're still going against safe haven during a fearful time. Does that make sense? Oil is strong, but then so is Japanese yen. Because of Japanese yen is a safe haven. So you still have that conflict of interest. That automatically, when you come to the conclusion of, is CAD yen a good pair for me? You may get away with it if oil is stronger, but you don't have open roads. You have a bumpy road ahead.
Okay.
Does that logic make sense?
Yeah.
So if I was to make your life super, super easy, all of you guys, and I say, guys, you have to choose two pairs you have to trade, what would you like to choose?
Aussie and
Aussie USD.
Aussie Swiss franc and USD.
Yeah.
Aussie Swiss. Oh, wow. Aussie Swiss. What else?
Aussie dollar.
Aussie dollar.
Dollar, yeah.
Pound though.
Pound dollar.
Yeah. No, I meant pound the Aussie. sorry.
Pound Aussie.
Pound Aussie. Okay, so we got these three pairs in there. Is it not sufficient?
Yeah.
You don't have to look at anything else. You can just be like, any pullback on any of these things, I will attack it like a dog. Like, you just need a pullback. You just need a pullback. That's it.
Can we have an action replay of the Urban Fox dog?
No, that's it. Only like, if you guys do that kissing booth, then maybe like. Okay, so you see, so the key is in the simplicity, especially if you have CAD and yen and it makes your mind tickle a little bit, where it's like, I have the perfect setup, but it doesn't make any sense. CAD is a commodity and it's going up, but yen is a safe haven and that's going up too. It's also strong. If that tickles your brain, don't do it. You don't have to do it. There's so many other pairs that are fully open. Right? All right. So having that said, moving it forward, I don't see anything more onto this and I wouldn't want to go any further long at this area. Okay. We'll wait for that supply information to come out. When is it you said, Reza? On Wednesday? Thursday?
Yeah, it's Wednesday, but the thing is still doing, if the demand is much higher than supply. They said the OPEC said they're going to deliver, and
Okay.
Wednesday is going to be for US supply.
Okay. So, okay. All right. We'll see how that happens. They've played it well. That means this time around, they've planned for it well. Okay.
Yeah, if the oil is going to act differently because of the shortage, then we are going to have difficult time with the CAD if you want to go short CAD.
Correct. Because the sentiments are going to get all messed up. It won't be a clean and easy answer. It will be messy. Okay. So that's the oil front. All right. Now, all this fundamental discussions that we're having for all of you guys, I hope it's not difficult or daunting. It's fairly at the surface level. We don't need to go deep into anything, right? It's all good, bad, not good, not so good, strong impact, small impact. That's all. We don't go into deepness of exactly how many barrels was sold and is the barrel tainted or not. We don't need to go into all of that stuff. Just surface level. Yeah? Okay. So keep it simple. Swiss yen. What do we know about this one? Is this good?
It's two safe haven.
Okay. So is that a good pair to be on?
No.
Now, isn't yen a pair that's supposed to be going this way? So that's two pairs now, CAD yen and Swiss yen going in a opposite direction. So we need to find out what's up with yen. Is yen even acting like a safe haven?
The problem with yen last year was because Japan is a export country. They
Okay.
didn't have a good export.
Okay, so they got affected. So maybe the safe haven status will start to deteriorate for Japan.
That's why Swiss franc is more attractive.
Okay. So you see, we went rule-based, right? Swiss franc, Japanese yen, safe havens, commodity, Aussie, CAD, New Zealand. But now notice how the rules are slightly bending. CAD is having a different alternative view, and yens are having a slightly different alternative views. How long since you guys how many of you guys have traded here Forex more than like 4 years or so? 4, maybe 5 years. You guys notice a time when euro goes up, so does pound, Euro goes down, so does pound. They're like very sister pairs. We used to call them sister pairs, like Aussie and New Zealand. Euro and pound used to be like that. Now it's like they're both different animals completely, right? So you have to be aware of situation that's starting to drift. So
Thanks
it's
to
good to
Brexit.
Huh?
Thanks to Brexit.
Thanks to Brexit. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So the it's good to have these open discussions with your peers time to time to be like, it's a second week now. It's a third week now. I think it's time to drop Japanese yen as a safe haven. And then we can conclude it's no longer a safe haven because of exports, as Reza was mentioning. Then you pick up on that, you learn from it, and you move on. Yeah?
So if we have these conflicts or maybe changes, the economies need to grow back from Corona, but now interest rates are raising, or they raise interest rates. So they are they reduce the growth maybe by raising the interest rates. Isn't this a conflict as well?
That Reza will have to answer. I'm not good with.
I didn't get his question.
So if the economy needs to regrow after the coronavirus impacts, and now they are raising the interest rates. Well, this usually they do it to decrease the growth, but
The thing is,
Inflation.
yeah, as he said, right.
It's
The
inflation.
problem is inflation, but the other problem we have, the economy didn't grow. The labor is going down. There's a shortage. Demographic is down, and as you see when you go out, the prices went up, but there's not much spending. So the other problem is the real inflation comes when there is a velocity of money, when people are spending and money is transferring from hand to hand. But it's trending down, and that's a huge problem. So it means the inflation we have is even not real. So they don't have any other choice to raise the rate because the inflation is out of control. Last year they said the Fed said inflation is transitory, but is no longer than that. And the other problem they're going to face is the inflation. They have to use media to create more fear to control inflation also. That's another use case of news and media to control inflation.
so it's not really bad because we have such a high inflation, and then in this case it's
No,
still good.
It is bad because it's unreal. It's very artificial because they did a QE. And the other problem is there's not much growth, and they print a lot of money, but the money didn't go to the normal people, it went to the corporation. So that's why the economy still is slow, the small business not doing well.
Yeah. I think the only option they have right now to control inflation is to increase interest rate. That's the only way they can bring down the inflation.
Yeah, that's the only,
Yeah.
that's the only way.
Bitcoin.
But the other problem is this time, if they're going to, when you see the Fed said they're going to do it earlier, market went risk off, the stock drop, Bitcoin drop, all the commodity drop because it creates more fear. And it means the central bank, they are not going to buy any more assets. So the money is leaving from assets to somewhere else, to safe havens. I hope I could have answered your question.
Yeah, it's a little bit complex, so I need to turn my head around it.
Yeah,
But
it's complicated if you put it in a whole nutshell, it's complicated because the only thing we can always do is be reactionary to what the economists do. It's very hard to be prediction mode when it comes to the economy, because we might always think this is the best course of action, and then they come and choose another action because they can. You see, so it's very difficult to be very objective when it comes to fundamental reads like that. Very few people understand the fundamental reads along with the psychological impacts of people controlling the fundamentals. That's a very rare thing to have. There are a few people on Wall Street who can do it. But it's a very rare occurrence that you can have a solid read on the economy and be like, I know what's going to happen next. I know what they'll have to do because they're going to be cornered into doing this and they'll have no choice. So, then the predictions become really strong. But until then, what we have in our pocket is somebody please make the decision up there. And whenever they make that decision, we're like, okay, so we're going this way? Yeah, okay, cool, we're going to go this way. Like, that's all we can do is sort of be like that trend follower. Okay, we cannot be a trend starter as a trader ever. That's something we just have to accept. Yeah? And yeah.
I just wanted to add that, Japan is an export country, so all the GDP coming from export. Switzerland, all 70% of GDP coming from the finance. So finance is not going to get hurt in this situation.
Yeah.
So it's a matter between which one is good and better. So in this case, Swiss franc is better.
Yeah. So the Swiss will still charge fees even if we choose not to buy a Toyota, or do we do buy a Toyota? Like,
Very interesting.
Cool. All right, so let's keep going down this list so we can get through with it. So what do we know about Swiss franc yen then? So we have that issue with the Swiss franc yen. Let's leave this one also orange for now. And purely because I want to go through all the yens before coming back and making a conclusion on the yens itself to see, have we lost the yens as a safe haven thing? And then we can tie that information together, as Reza was saying, that export took a big hit. So yen is unable to provide that safe haven because their economy doesn't match it anymore, right? So we'll take that into consideration once we go through all the yens, and then we'll come back to the yens. All right, moving forward to Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie, the final pair that made Ollie take the crown on Friday. Okay, I think we talked about it during one of the calls, and he mentioned he was looking at that the Euro Aussie. I don't have a perfect memory on that. We were talking with somebody, some of you guys here. Was it Yash? Was it you and Ollie I was on a call with?
Yeah, we were. I think we were on the same call.
Okay.
Weren't we focusing more on pound Aussie on that call?
Yeah, but we did look at Euro Aussie. I think Michael was there. He had to go to sleep or something. I think it was three of us or four of us. Sorry. Yeah. So Euro Aussie was the discussion we had on that one, and we were looking at it from a higher time frame perspective, which is coming up from the monthly. Okay, so we're going to recap on that. On as per the monthly, we've got this situation going. Okay, up. Gets smashed down, comes down to here, pauses, smash down. That's a refresh. Okay, so this first move up, primary. Then it comes down to here.
Second.
Could be a secondary, right? Now, the whole time when it was coming down for a secondary, there's that fear and the heartbeat that says, oh, I hope it's not a pullback sell. I hope it's not a pullback sell. Because we can visually see a tower to our left saying, this could be a downtrend, man, not an uptrend. So there's that constant like, oh, crap, I hope this is going to work. So we're playing with a bit of fire on this one. So is this any different from this?
It's similar.
Very similar, right? It has that similar characteristics of, I'm going to go in that process that I don't have a clear direction. Instead of a range, what we have is a squeeze. We're inside a squeeze. Okay, squeeze means the same thing. It's just a different type of range. Okay, so far so good. Now, as prices come down to hit the secondary, that means what time frame?
Weekly.
Weekly. So we want the weekly to refresh. How do we want it to refresh?
Up, struggle, up. That's a refresh.
Struggle up. That's the refresh. What do we need now?
Yes, to the SNR.
Come on down here. Let me hit the buy. I can put my stop loss here. Keep it simple. Or I can go in detail and I can go grab that and put my stop loss below there and get the party started. Now, is the party started on this one compared to the Aussie Swiss?
That's all the Swiss
Not
are more
yet.
clean.
Not started yet, but
Not
in
yet.
the progress.
It's, yeah, this one we would say the party has begun. Has begun because it actually launched. The Aussie Swiss is still in that process of it's getting ready to launch. Both of them are not on. It needs to be here to be on. Okay, both of them not on, but the anticipation has started on this one, not on Aussie Swiss. The anticipation is rocketing away. Okay, so that means the party has begun. Now, where it goes, how far it goes, it's going to be difficult because it's going to be very easy to have this also. Very, very easily. You want a hint on how that is? Look at the way secondary came in. And look at the way the buyers hit it back up. They look almost identical. Look at that power is very similar. So they're hot. They're hot. You got to be careful. And what kind of secondary do we normally get? If this is our primary, what kind of secondary here? What kind of secondary can we normally get? What are the three types? Very quickly.
Equal, higher range, or higher low.
Right? The strongest one is this. Second strongest is that. And the weakest one is this. This one, when it comes down equal, 4 candles up, 2 candles down. It's strong, that seller. It's strong. But it got bought. Okay, so that's something that sort of tells you, I can feel it. They're gonna mess with us. I can feel it. Okay, so a little bit more openness for the stop losses. Okay, moving forward. Okay, this one is still on. I'll leave it green because it's going to be a good one to monitor to see how far can this actually go. Target being this area and that area. Okay, this high and that high. Okay, to see, will the sellers look at that as, give me a test so I can sell it. Yeah. So those are the sort of areas we want. Okay, moving forward to EuroCAD. Okay, weekly. We have a dilemma. We end up all the way on the monthly because of that. So if we go up to the monthly, and here we are on the monthly. Anything? No point. Okay, moving forward, Euro Swiss. Let's go to the daily flow. Down. We got a, would you say this is a refresh?
I don't know if I would say yet, due to there's not really like this year. I wouldn't consider a range per se. So, and it's not even above. So.
Good. So we want to see more. We want to see more, right? Here's another way to look at this: is You see that? And that's a big deal because we haven't seen that in a while. It's huge. It's at the bottom of the trend. That's another thing. And it's been going on since here. It's just been non-stop going down without a single refresh. Maybe the price will come in a bit deeper. Maybe the price will come in a bit deeper, but that doesn't make sense with what we need to do with Swiss being safe haven. That's a sell. Do we have anything on the euro itself from when we did the analysis in the beginning part of the call? Was there any euros involved in that? Or the longevity process? There was no euros involved in that. And Swiss is a safe haven. So we have a sensitive pair here also that it can continue going sell mode, but any turn into the Corona will make this pair lose control and go the other way. Okay, so would we say if this refresh ends here and we do a sell, will that work? Even with all of these situations, it can work. You just need to be aware of the fundamental shift. If it happens, you have to be careful. A refresh is a refresh. It's telling you, I just got a buyer in here. Finally, everyone's going to want a piece of that action. Yeah.
So Naveen, could we say that if we want to play on the lower time frames, we need these more clear, fundamentally clear pairs, because it will be very heavy to keep track of fundamentals and the technicals on the other pairs?
That's why if you want to stay sane, if you want to not lose your marbles, then what you want to do is make sure you pick fundamentals that have longevity. That you know that even if I'm on a holiday for 1 month, I come back and look at all the big fundamentals, you're like, good, I know it's still valid. You want to look at those so then you have a solid understanding of, okay, that way, we're going to go that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it'll help you be a little bit more relaxed about it. And then there's also Reza and Ali that you can always bug to ask them about, hey, any updates? Because they have a passion for it, so they'll be happy to tell you. So yeah. Okay, moving forward. So is there anything ready yet on Euro-Swiss?
No.
Is there even a refresh?
No.
We left it last time, we're going to leave it again this time. There's no point of even marking it because this whole week can go by and we won't even have a trade. Okay, Euro Yen. Direction?
Some range.
Okay, don't know what this is. Maybe range, maybe a squeeze, but it's another yen pair that looks like it's not getting strong, the yens. Leave it. Euro New Zealand? Is it going the right direction?
Yeah.
It's definitely going the right direction. It's going to go with the weakness. The commodity is getting weak, right? The New Zealand. Okay, let me switch it around. Sorry, I'll make this I'll just make this the 4 hours here, so that we don't get lost. Okay, what do we know about this? Range.
Yeah.
Rise. Pause. That should be primary, secondary in that area, and that's a new high. If that's not a new high, that's a new high. Whichever case, it tells us this time frame is not interested. Must go one up. Okay. Is it okay I do that fast now? And I don't do it slowly? You guys are okay with that speed now? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, thanks.
Cool. All right. Now, in this one, range.
Yeah.
Okay. If it was just up and down, would say maybe not, but that's three candles sideways, full sideways. Say, okay, that's a range. That's range. Okay. It's come up very, very aggressively. What would this be?
Primary.
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 Primary. Yeah.
Has the primary done his job?
Yeah.
It has this.
No.
So this is
No,
the
no
gray,
discount.
this is the gray area. What's the primary's job?
Get the buyers in.
Give the buyer a chance, right? So where's the buyer's area that he wants the chance?
And at the SNR.
62.
Also, the ranges.
Probably here.
Correct. So the chance is there, but there is a little gray area that keeps bugging me every night when I look at these charts before going to bed, and this one bugs me a bit. Okay, now what is that bugging process? It's not a nightmare, but what is that? You see this up move here? Notice the second green candle where it started.
Yeah.
Bottom of the bigger range, potentially.
No. But the first one closed up here. When a candle closes, isn't the next open right next?
Oh, yeah.
So there's a
Like
gap.
one continuous candle almost.
So it gapped down before the next week opened.
Hmm.
So if it gaps down and the next one does this, someone needs to fill that gap with something. How did the price go down? That means the price went down. That's a pause.
Oh, so it made a new high.
So if that is a pause, no one's trading here, so we know that's not going to be a primary secondary because no one can trade in the weekend. We know that's not possible. But can it at least be primary's area for SNR,
Oh,
which is right there? That's the gray area that's like, is that right? Is that not right? And I keep just bypassing, like, I have no idea, so I'm not going to touch it. Because I'll see it's a weekly trade. That means it's going to be a long time until this trade works. Why trade small? Trade big. If the analysis is wrong, I'm dead. It's like, that's going to be a lot of money down the hole. So I can't really take a chance on that. You get it? So just a small variation that's giving me an issue on this one. So direction-wise, which direction is this supposed to go?
Down.
It's for the New Zealand.
Up. We mark this as orange because we're like, all we need now is get above this price and we can begin the buying process. So who's the owner of this trade?
weekly.
Weekly.
Weekly. Once it goes up and does that test, how soon can you, what time frame can you go down to operate on?
2 time frames though.
Yeah, you can go down 2 time frames and then just operate from your 4 hours and saying, okay, now I can play with the 4 hour and begin my earliest play from the 4 hours. Once the 4 hour launches, then you can start opening up the lower time frames because they will all be active. Cool. So still goes orange, means in process. Okay, moving forward. Euro Aussie.
Quick question, Naveen. With Euro and ZD, if we didn't have that
Wait.
possible gap.
Wait. One of you guys in the kissing booth needs to put it on mute because it's getting echoes. No, not you, Ali. You need to speak. So it's like,
Yeah, I have to speak.
yeah, okay.
So if we didn't have this, if we didn't have this gap,
Yeah.
then we would want prices to come back at least to here.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, if that gap was not there, then we would say we need price to come down. There's nothing in the way otherwise.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. They always need a ledge to confidently hit it.
Yeah.
Okay. Euro USD. Okay. What do we know about Euro? Anything? No. There might be something, but longevity, we don't know anything. Dollar.
Strong.
Should be strong.
Okay. Which means which direction should this pair go?
Down.
So that's good. We already have some kind of a down movement, but is this a new low he's been making? Is that a new low?
No.
No. It's a new low here, but my eyeball sees this. So trust the eyeball, go up a time frame and be like, what is that? Oh, great. Okay, here we are now. Now, is that whole thing a new low at least? No. And if we just say, okay, well then, where do I start looking? If I start from, maybe that's a new low. Okay, then it would be up, pull back up, refresh, dead. So that doesn't make sense. We got to go higher. All right. Well, what is that higher? 3 months, 4 months?
I was wondering, Navin, if here was it looking to, could you go back to the monthly, please?
Yeah.
Is it like looking at too much of a picture if I would have considered this to be like primary and this secondary? Is it too big?
No, it's not too big, because what you're visually seeing is now your training kicking into gear. We know that on this, we know on this time frame it's failing, right?
Right.
But just from, without even changing time frames, you and I probably know, I know for a higher time frame that's going to be a range for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be a primary then. And that's got to be the SNR bounce right back up. That's got to be a secondary.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you trade a secondary? Anticipation.
Right.
We're back on this time frame anyways. So then if you can see that, then you have reached trading enlightenment, basically. Like you're able to see things above, beyond, in, out, everything. You're able to start seeing it because your training is kicking into gear. So that's correct. That's a correct way to see it. It is large, but is not incorrect. It is correct.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So if that is the case, and the higher time frame is now down, range, up, primary, and as secondary is coming up, we want to anticipate it. So what are we looking for when we come back to this time frame? What are we looking for?
Refresh.
Refresh.
Right.
Is that a refresh?
Yes.
Let's get some SNRs in, either there or there.
Right.
Let's get the party started. What's the bad thing about this?
Yeah.
We still have to wait.
A simple test is going to drag us all the way to February. like, I just want to test, but a whole month will pass by. Okay, let's mark this as orange, as in it's in production. Okay, so far so good? Okay, moving forward. Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie. The beauty. Okay, what do we know about this one?
Good fundamentals.
Good fundamentals on both sides. The fundamentals are hedged, which means in case we lose a little bit on the Corona side, pound will still carry us. So we're a little bit hedged, but as of right now, as of today, that's like a rocket pair, right? Next thing, technicals. Are we in a organized turn / pullback?
Mm-hmm.
We're in a nice primary, secondary phase that's kicking into gear.
Yeah.
So technicals are there, fundamentals are there. Now, am I expecting this to be a bumpy ride though? And why is that?
Strong fire cells.
Yeah, because we don't have, even though we're
Yes.
coming up from a higher time frame, we're in a squeeze.
Yeah.
Which means any little hiccup or any fundamental hiccup that steps in, whole trade's going to get ruined. Or we'll get ruined massively and then continue again. And I myself will not survive that if I'm still long on the pound Aussie during that time. Yeah. So I think we've done this pound Aussie together for a little over 2 weeks now. 500 plus pips on it. It's been a good run. It's been a good run. 2 entries only. And time spent on this trade, 1 hour, 2 hours,
Wow.
right? But do we get Corona and interest rates every day? No. It was one of those unique situations that we got to experience. Okay. But today we're calling it Corona and interest rates. Tomorrow it's going to be something else. There's always going to be something that gives you a nice pair that says, do this. And you ride that. And any little pullback, you buy it. So going back to earlier in the week, when there was a 15-minute pullback in this area. I know a lot of you guys were like, are you bloody out of your mind buying it up there? What is wrong with you? And that's why I was like, okay, when we get on a call, guys, I'll talk about power. How early are we in this power?
Naveen, a quick question before we look into the re-entry. On the monthly,
Yeah.
this is, like you said, it's a squeeze. And in a normal situation, we would maybe skip it. However, the fundamental story right now of the pound and the Aussie gives it an importance, right?
Gives it an importance, yeah. You were there with me in London when we were, in fact, Sanjit was there too, with me in London when we were all trying to buy within these areas.
Yeah.
How many times did we keep seeing that seller go against us before it actually worked well?
The longest time, yeah.
Longest time, right? Like Sanjit had to get in, 3 times, and then he added more eventually. I had to get in a couple of times to grab it properly.
Yeah.
It just kept going against us. And then I had to use a very wide stop loss.
Yeah.
Right? You guys remember that? So now you have an understanding of why is he going with the wider stop loss when normally when I see him, I think he's crazy with the small stop losses. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah. So it's just, I feel now it's more time to explain to you guys the next edge, which is how do you trade things that you're not trained to touch, which is stuff like this. Doesn't mean it's not going to work. It means you need to approach it slightly differently.
Yeah.
Cool. Pound CAD. So is this one still on? Pullback buys? Yeah, can. Pound CAD?
There's a missing one.
We see it's a range, but what do we know about CAD?
Oil.
Oil, strong. Pound, interest rate, strong. Leave it. Pound Swiss?
Same, just the story is a little bit different.
Moving forward. Pound yen?
I'm not sure yet. So we know a little bit more about yen.
Until we know a little bit more about yen. So far, with all the yens we've done, what is all the yens telling us? Are they strong at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
very weak.
No.
No. Looks like they're actually saying, safe haven, no way, man, take your money back. We don't want it. It's like, it's not working in this economy. We're done with Toyotas. So it's not working there anymore. Could be the opposite effect completely happening. Okay, but because we don't know about it, we don't really want to put money on it. That's the problem, because we really don't know. Normally we have statistics that says, in a fear market, we have Japanese yen as a safe haven. That statistics is being challenged. So we're like, do I want to gamble against it? I'm not sure. So we wait and see. Next time around, we'll remember this day.
Like, for instance, if we would have went to a higher time frame and look at this here and here, and then even like consider that maybe we're approaching a on market, could it be?
But then there's a little bit more to it, right? That you also have this.
Right.
So you have a low point, a high point, and then all of this is in between the two. So that's a squeeze. So in a squeeze, it becomes difficult to do the read. And you're saying if this was a primary and that's a secondary there?
Right, they're considering taking it like this way.
Yeah, can. Then the on would be, you're right, would be above this. And you already have an anticipation activated. Because the anticipation would be, actually the anticipation would be here. Because you want this seller to be refreshed, right?
Right, right.
That's the range, and that's the pop-up. That's the entry right there. So it's already gone up for multiple legs. And now it's at the top, and it's not breaking yet.
Right.
It may go. It may go. You also got volume support. So if it pops, then we just need to be sure that the Japanese yen is suffering across the board. Only then we can say, beautiful pair, go with this.
Okay, the fundamentals are not like lining up, or at the time they would need to line up as they are right now.
Well, right now they're lining up also because you have pound, which we know is a buy.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I meant like as it reaches up, the fundamentals should like let's just say as they are, like lining as they are.
Oh yeah, correct. Should be as they are, or maybe Corona issue starts lessening, and yen gets even stronger. Then that's very well possible because if what Reza is saying, they're all export based. Then a Corona lessening will increase exports and yen can get very strong then.
But the problem, yen, is still going to be the interest rate. It's negative.
It's still negative. Oh, so that's really bad. I think that it might be running more on interest rate than it is running on fear.
It's still a safe haven, but the reason is not performing the way Swiss franc does is because of the export problem they have. So
okay.
So we only still, if the VIX goes higher in a fear market, still perform, but Swiss franc is still better.
Okay.
And the dollar is still better.
Yeah, dollar is going to be great. I think with the announcement that they made, that looks good, and makes me hopeful for my bitcoins as well. Because 3 times interest rate increase, I don't care what the inflation is, it's coming. It's coming, and it's coming hard. So it's a good time to learn about investing and stay ahead of the curve. So, all right, moving forward, pound New Zealand. What do we know about this and direction?
Fundamentally, in the up movement, so pound strong, New Zealand is more on the weak side.
Yeah.
And current direction on daily is up, very
Good.
strong.
Good. If we can solve whatever this is, isn't that a beautiful pair you'd like to be on? It's like, man, 5 minute, 15 minutes, 60, whatever. Get me in, man. Get me in. You see, so the whole point is we just need to figure out what is all these MAs doing up and down. We just need to find out, well, who owns this? So I know I'm not stepping on anybody's shoes just in case. Okay? We got to be respectful even in Forex. All right, here we go. So let's go up a time frame. All right. Do we have any sense of direction on the weekly? No. It's very, very nasty, right? So, okay, let's go up to a monthly. What's the situation here? That's the lowest point. Okay, that's not a range. Movement, that would be a pullback there. Primary, secondary, dead. It's gone up higher. Now, if it goes up higher without going a higher time frame because it's a monthly already, would we say it would be up, range, up, primary? These guys are hitting it up, but this time you have fundamental backing. Normally, we don't want to buy a secondary up ever because it's dangerous, but you have fundamental backing this time. So this might be one of those where it goes, ooh, Boing. So it's something to keep track of. Again, if Corona News switches on you, this can head up and just range around here. And that's also normal. And that'll be enough time to get pound out of its interest rates or not be so attractive anymore. Cool, right? So sort of gives you a hint of how much space do I have? How far can I go with this? So having that said, if you go for the buys, is it going to be an easy ride?
No.
So to be on the safe side, a little bit wider stop losses than normal. Shall we look at any one pullback and see, what do you mean by a little bit wider stop losses? Is that what, 5 pips more? Like, what are we talking about? Let's have a look at any pullback. So give me a pullback. You want to look at this one? We can. You want to look at that one? We can. You want to look at something smaller time frame? We can. Any pullback that attracts you and you would say, I would normally consider that a pullback. Okay, so we're looking at it from which perspective on here? Because there's no higher high. So 4-hour pullback, this one. That would be a primary there. Secondary there. Unable to launch. Refresh, which is what the hell's going on. And then it still goes. You feel the pressure from the opposite side coming in, which causes confusion. Okay, let's take a look at the next pullbacks. If you imagine from a lower time frame, this would be a primary, secondary, launch, a test is supposed to come up here, and that test comes almost all the way down to secondary. Problematic, not smooth. After it launches, he gets up to here, refreshes again on the lower time frame, and it's like, are you going or not? What's wrong with this? So you close the trade because it's refreshing again, and then 2 candles later, it's back up again. You're like, what the hell? You want to strangle your monitor, but there's no neck, you know? it's like, right? So you get the idea that there's so much issues on this. And when you
Especially
see,
if it's on the wall.
sorry?
Especially if the monitor's on the wall.
So if this whole issue is happening, don't let it be reversed. What I mean by reverse, don't try to get in, get stop loss. Get in again, get stop loss. And then look at the monthly or wherever, whoever owns it, be like, oh, I'm in a squeeze. Yeah, but you're also down 2 Rs now. Know it first and then avoid the 2 Rs instead of the opposite. Okay, but if the opposite does happen, then at least you know why it's happening. It's always, at least you know now. Cool, so far so good? Moving forward. So this is not a bad one. I'm gonna mark this as, I don't know, pink. We'll mark it as pink. Okay, it's a little bloody, so be careful. Okay, pound dollar. Here we are, pound dollar.
It's on its period.
Wow, so if you want to put it that way, it can't make up its mind. I guess so. I guess. All right, pound dollar. What do we know about this one? Good pair, bad pair?
Strong versus strong.
Conflicting.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so very quickly. Oh man, that pullback would have been a perfect buy. Okay, next pullback, I'm going to buy it. Don't let your colleagues get into these type of traps. Okay, if you see them doing it, remind them, watch out. You're not on a good pair, be careful. No, 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 as beautiful as it looks, no, 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 no. Don't do it. Okay? Bad mojo. Okay, New Zealand CAD. What about this one? What do we know about New Zealand?
Commodity.
Commodity.
That's not a good pair.
But so is CAD as a commodity, but CAD has been driven by oil. So oil, we're sort of on the sidelines, right? As Reza was telling us about that. Okay, we have this situation with CAD and they're talking about oil announcements coming up as well. So what can you tell me about the longevity about CAD? It's right up to the next news, which is on Wednesday. So is the longevity long enough?
No.
That automatically tells you maybe I shouldn't get involved with this pair. I might get run over. Even though a pullback might come in, but that pullback might come in just perfectly for Wednesday and it goes the other way. Does that make sense? So that's where the word longevity comes in. Is your news strong enough to last? Cool. Moving forward, New Zealand Swiss. New Zealand Swiss.
Yeah, New Zealand weak, Swiss safe haven, so should be okay.
Should be a good pair, yeah. So let's now understand what this is. Okay, we got a downtrend movement. Seems like we were in a reverse squeeze. It's like a megaphone. And now we have new lows. Okay, new lows. Shall we understand what all this is? Just take a quick glance. Otherwise, I don't see any violations on the daily, but I don't even see any refreshes either. Do you guys see refreshes?
No.
Not yet.
No, there's not yet. That's a good word. So nothing so far, right? So we're just checking above. Otherwise, we'll have to go all the way down to 4 hours to see is there something for those guys, because I don't see anything on the daily. Okay, here we are on the weekly. Okay, there's more to the story. Okay, because now we now know we are inside someone else operating all kinds of stuff. Who knows? Maybe it's just one touch launch. Then it's in our favor to get in quickly. Okay, so let's just find out what this is. What are we looking at here? Overall downward flow. New low. Comes up, holds, goes up. Whether it stops there or there, prices go higher anyways. So this time frame doesn't like it. If we imaginary higher time frame this thing, up, range, up, refresh, primary down. After that primary goes down, secondary. Doesn't it look very similar to our Aussie pairs?
Yeah, it's just to Aussie Swiss franc.
Right? Aussie Swiss franc pairs where it's like it was down here and we're like, it's almost ready to start the party. It's probably just doing a test and stuff right now on the underside and just getting people in. That's why we're seeing all this dilemma of it's not failing for doing the sells, but it's not getting ready for the buys either. It's not allowing anything. It's going side by side. It might be waiting for something. Are they closing down there in Kissing Booth?
Yeah, in half an hour.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, we're almost done anyway. All right. Okay, so all good then so far? Making sense? So who's the owner of this trade for New Zealand Swiss?
Monthly.
Month.
Yeah. Okay. Here you have your monthly, exactly how we talked about it. Right? Range, high, must be primary, must be secondary. Okay, yeah, I get it. Looks about right. Okay. Okay, moving forward. So what do we say about New Zealand Swiss franc then? Good?
Yeah.
Let's make it green. It's back on it's on the list. It wasn't there before. Okay, New Zealand yen. What do we know about this one?
It's almost like other yens.
It's messy.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's a sell or it's a buy. But it looks very similar to CAD yen. Okay, barely higher high and very deep pullbacks. Okay, so orange. Okay, New Zealand dollar.
Fundamentally good.
That's good.
Okay, so commodity and fundamental say sell. But what is this? Down, up, down.
Should go.
Must
safe
go
or
higher?
high.
Okay. Monthly. There's more to the monthly as well, right? Look at this. There's a problem here. This isn't a small thing. There's some bigger thing at play here. All right. So what is this now? It goes up way beyond into a higher time frame. So New Zealand dollar might be a messy pair. So can this be done? Absolutely. If we choose to just read it from here, as I did with the pound Aussie, and I say, okay, well, that's got to be a primary. Primary ends there. That's got to be a secondary. This thing's going to go down now. If we force that opinion on it, that's okay. That is a correct opinion. A little bit wider stop losses. Because there's more to the story. Yeah.
Naveen, a little bit wider stop loss would be, say, stop losses above the secondary, at least.
No, because let's say, how would you enter the anticipation of secondary?
15, 1 week, weekly.
Okay, yeah. Thank God you didn't say 15.
I don't know why 50K off, but
What a beast.
Okay, so in this uptrend, what do you want the uptrend to do?
yeah. So go up and then refresh.
Refresh. So is this sufficient?
Yeah.
Looks about right? Nearest
Yeah.
SNR?
Yeah.
So if you go down a time frame to do the nearest SNR and you get in, don't put your stop loss right there. Maybe work with something like this.
Okay.
That's what I mean by a wider stop. I don't mean put it all the way up here. Just give it a little bit room to allow these guys to think it's still their buy.
Sure.
Because every trade that you do to perfection is going to be a money spot. And a money spot is an illusion for both parties. But if there's no trend, then the illusion is real. Both parties are right. But if there is a trend, then the money spot actually has an answer. We're going that way, whatever the trend is.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. So New Zealand dollar, all good? Okay. Is Green owner of New Zealand dollar?
Monthly.
Monthly. USD CAD? Fundamentally?
That's difficult. Huh?
It's a difficult one, unless we can really rely on CAD being weak. It's going to be tough to stay on the buys on this. Now, this is a very important pair because of the way it's looking like it's turning, right? The US stuff that we just talked about, is that set in stone now? Is that like, okay, that's good for the economy, it's coming? Interest rate, right? Set in stone almost. Oh,
You guys also lost Naveen?
can you hear me now?
I think he's
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah. All right. All right. So what was I saying? Yeah,
Yes.
because the way these things are turning around, and if they fail and they go to the upper side, it'll activate the buys, right? Because it'll bring in the opposite party, and then we'd say, oh, we have to go a higher time frame, see if they want to sell it, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But just think of one thing in your mind. US dollar, you know for certain what the story is. If the CAD story becomes certain, even if it's now, a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 4 weeks later, can you still be like, USD CAD, let's do this? You see? So you can keep US dollar as your backbone and saying, all right, I know that's a buy, period. When it comes to the CAD, you're like, not sure yet. News comes up. Now I'm a little bit more certain, at least for the next 3-4 days. Let's go. Let's do the buys. The doors are open, and in those 3-4 days, maybe you get 2 trades. It's good enough. Make sense? Because oil news comes out every week. You can play this every week. Because the US dollar is headed one direction. Whatever the news comes out, go with it. Yeah. Okay, moving forward. So I'm going to put this as pink. Okay, because it's a little bit dangerous. All right, USD Swiss. What do we know about this?
That's going to be difficult.
Okay, dollar and Swiss. Dollar is strong and Swiss safe haven. So the only thing, what's going to make this move?
Risk on.
If the market switches off the corona fear, this will fly. Easy peasy. Okay. USD yen. Ooh. Now this one looks like a beautiful chart for an uptrend, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All we need is to confirm now all the yens that we did. Can we go with the reliability of, I don't think this is a safe haven anymore. Every yen is failing. If every yen is failing, and I know dollar is strong for sure, maybe a pound yen or a USD yen buy is ideal. Pound has interest rate also, USD does one too, and they look nicely weak, the yens. Maybe the doors are open for that, those temporary small trades where you don't go for the higher high, just in case, but you'd get out at the equal highs. So plan of action filtered out in your mind, and now we just go look for pullbacks and saying, all right, I'll approach it with a bit of caution, and I'll get out at recent highs. Pink. So,
Sorry, Davin, before you turned off the chart, I was wondering
if
you could have taken a look at gold, please.
Gold? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Let's take a look at it. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. What do you see about gold? You need the analysis for gold, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So on the long term, this is more of a monthly thing from what it looks like. This is good. This is a little too deep, so monthly is involved. Right? Let's move on up a little bit. Okay. There's a problem here, but that is a new high. In this whole process, he's gone up from here, done legs, third leg, made a new high, refreshing again. Okay. Now, what makes gold move?
Interest rates.
Interest rates. So how does that affect gold? Interest rate good. Gold is what?
It's not gonna good for gold. If the dollar becomes strong, gold would drop.
So gold is bad.
Gold is also a safe haven.
Yeah.
Gold is also safe haven. So
Yes.
is it just ranging up there because of confusion? Because dollar says it needs to go down and safe haven says it needs to go up.
Also, it's a store of value.
And it's a store of value. So it's stuck in the middle.
Mm.
So now the question comes is, if I do this refresh buy, will it work? It might have a hard time launching. But if any one of those factors we just talked about that's negative for gold, if that turns off, which one can turn off more likely? The corona or the interest rate?
The corona.
The corona. The interest rate set in stone. It's done now. Now we just have to wait for this to turn off to see, well, what's going to happen if that turns off? It's going to drop, which means another time frame would be involved and saying maybe this is going to turn into a big range. So there's a possibility of that. Yeah. Let's see this. Yeah, this is perfect primary, secondary here, right?
Right.
And this is just another leg here. It's tricky. It's tricky.
It's like a Bitcoin chart.
Yeah, it's tricky this one. You'll need fundamentals to get out of this area because it's a 3-month chart. To go from here to here is a huge distance. For it to launch well, you have to be in the perfect turn area, technically. Position yourself, and then you will have to be every day, be like, come on, news, show me something that's going to make the gold fly.
Been talking about Bitcoin and then the USD with the interest rate. Is that not make it more bearish for Bitcoin if the USD is going up?
Yeah.
It is doing that, but in terms of store of value, as how people are even contending that it's trying to surpass gold, gold is still the king. With all that issue and the fundamental backing of why they're making the interest rate, if you go even core, is combating inflation. If you have to combat inflation, which means there's a giant coming at you, and if the plan, how Reza was saying, was supposed to be in March and they're going to do it even sooner, that means the giant is coming faster at you. There's an inflation powerhouse of a problem coming at you, and they're going to have to respond. And when they respond faster, they'll make mistakes. We're only humans, which is making me think any dip is ideal for buying on this. It will be reflected. Any dip will be ideal for buying. Any bad news that encounters the US dollar, this thing will take a jump right back.
I think our approach on Bitcoin is more investment approach.
It's a more, not based on candlesticks. Yeah, not based on design. Because if it's based on design, that's a second refresh coming in. That's not allowed. Yeah. In Forex, we don't like second refreshes. But when do we get 2 refreshes and it still goes up?
Oh, in stock.
No. When does that situation happen? Remember, we just looked at one chart and I said, tell me any pullback that you want me to read and let's take a look at that. And then we looked at those pullbacks and it refreshed and then it still went up.
In a squeeze or a range.
There you go. Yeah. When you have double-sided information about that pair, it can do that. But if you're in a trend and you get two refreshes without making a new high, that's a problem. That means the trend has given up on it. Make sense? So I'm in on this average 48 price. That's my average. Okay, if I can buy more, I'll buy more, and maybe I'll bring my average down to 47 maybe or something, but I'll keep buying into 2022. Yeah. So, all good then? Everything clear? That was a quick 10-minute call.
Thank you so much. It was very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ian.
Very good.
Yeah, very good.
Thank you. Really
5-minute
enjoyed
call.
I feel like I saw the whole sun go down in London. Like,
Oh, they didn't. That's so good.
Gonna come out soon.
Cool. All right then, guys. It was good. I'll get the recording up to you guys whenever it renders. It'll take probably an hour to render, but whenever it's done, I'll get it up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Naveen.
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So,
Cheers,
yeah.
everyone.
Have a nice time.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Take care. Bye.